Hello there, lovely folks of YouTube, Ren here. So I don't know about the rest of you, but I've really been feeling the need for a lot of self-care and sort of just really, it's been rough. Let's just leave it at that. It's been rough. So I made this tea blend for myself and it turned out really good. And I wanted to share it with the rest of you as well, because I think there are probably a lot of you out there who could also benefit from this blend. This is what I'm calling my Energizing Self-Love Tea Blend. So energizing in part because of some of the herbs that are involved in it, and also because this is an actual tea blend. I am using actual tea, Camellia sinensis black tea in it. Now, if you can't do tea or caffeine for whatever reason, I really feel like the tea part is kind of important. But if you don't do caffeine, try and find like a decaffeinated black tea to substitute with. But if you just don't do tea at all, you can substitute it with like a rooibos or some other non-tea herb, but something that is used as a tea substitute, just whatever your preferences are. In my case, like, I really love tea, so I wanted to make sure I had an actual tea blend and not a tisane this time. But anyway, let's get to the recipe. So first part, we're going to start with actual tea. So I have this here. This is a Darjeeling Summer Glory black tea from Ugyan Tea. I got it as a sample in one of my little tea subscription things. It's a pretty good tea, but it's pretty basic. Doesn't really have anything that really like, wow, knocks me out of the park. It's just black tea. So I'm going to use this as my base. I've already pre-measured this because I'm cheating. So we're going to use 2 parts black tea for this recipe. In my case, I'm using tablespoons for my parts. And like I said, I've already sort of pre-measured this, so I know I have exactly 2 tablespoons of this tea. And I'm going to put this, yeah, come on, there's a little bit left in there. Put that into my little mixing bowl here. I don't need to use the mortar and pestle on this because this is already ready to go. Alright, the next ingredient here, and I always have my recipes written down. Write down your recipes, even if you don't think they're any good. That way you can learn from your mistakes and make notes, copious notes. This is a learning path, right? You need to keep notes if you're going to be learning anything. Alright, so next thing we're going to use, 1 part hibiscus. Hibiscus is not something that grows here, not something native to here. It tends to be more in Caribbean and equatorial areas that this particular hibiscus grows, but it is very readily available from ethnic markets that cater to people who live in equatorial areas, which also includes Mexico as well. You will sometimes find it listed as sorrel. That's what they call it in the Caribbean area. But it is hibiscus. It's hibiscus flower. Very reasonably priced if you know where to find it. I got like 8 ounces of hibiscus flowers for like, I think $3 at my local ethnic market. So definitely look there for it. Now this is in larger pieces, as you can see. So I am going to take my mortar and pestle and just break that into smaller pieces, roughly about the same size as my tea leaves, just so that they sort of homogenize into a more even mix. There we go. There's my hibiscus. All right, next ingredient, 1 part rose hips. This is another thing that will add sort of a sweet, fruity flavor. I do grow rose hips in my garden, but I don't get a very large quantity of them, so I also supplemented this with rose hips that I bought online, which is fine, because sometimes we don't always have access to what we need in quantities that we need, and it's okay to buy from reputable dealers online to supplement. So same as with the hibiscus. Oh, get back here. I'm just kind of breaking this up into slightly smaller pieces so that it's roughly the same size as my tea leaves, just so that they mix a little more evenly, and trying to keep it all in the mortar and pestle. I love rose hips. They have such a nice fruity flavor to them, and they really don't taste like anything else. They're just rose hips. So, all right, 1 part orange peel. Now, orange peel you should be able to get yourself. You probably don't grow the oranges yourself, but you can definitely buy oranges at the grocery store and peel the peel off, dry it, save it. because that's exactly what I did here. This is just orange peel from an orange that I got at the grocery store that I just cut it in pieces and dried. The pieces are a little on the large side again, so I'm going to try and break these down a little bit with my mortar and pestle. They're also a little bit older because I need to replace my orange peel soon. I'm probably just going to finish using it up in this blend and then get some more oranges. Actually, I have more oranges back there. I'll peel those oranges and save the peels. There we go. Orange peel is a little bit tougher. Get back here. Oh yeah. As I'm breaking this down, you get that really nice orange scent to it. There we go. All right, now, last ingredient. This one's going to be a little trickier to measure. 1 part cinnamon. Now, this particular cinnamon, I want to make a note here. This is what's called Ceylon cinnamon or true cinnamon. I don't know. I'm going to see if I can get this a little closer. You can see how the cinnamon sticks are sort of like these thin, papery layers that peel apart. That's what we call true cinnamon, the Ceylon cinnamon. The cinnamon sticks that you usually get at the grocery store, like the McCormick brand, are what we call cassia cinnamon. It is not the same stuff. It will work in a pinch, don't get me wrong, it's still good cinnamon. But this, oh my gosh. If you ever smell the difference between a Ceylon cinnamon and a cassia cinnamon, you will never go back. A lot of the time when you get like, oh, that's a little piece of the... if you get like Vietnamese, sorry, I'm probably out of camera now, wasn't I? If you get Vietnamese cinnamon, it's oftentimes Ceylon cinnamon. So the really high quality, high end, fancy stuff is Ceylon cinnamon. This one, again, I got this at the same ethnic market that I got my hibiscus flowers from. And it was like a 4-ounce thing of the Ceylon cinnamon for like $2. Super cheap if you know where to look for it. Try your ethnic markets. They are a wealth of high quality stuff, hard to find stuff at very reasonable prices. So again, mortar and pestle might not do the trick for this one. I might have to break this up by hand a little bit. That's okay. So just kind of breaking the bigger pieces into smaller pieces. Oh my gosh, that smell. It's just something else. Delicious. But yeah, I find that the cassia cinnamon burns a little more than the Ceylon cinnamon does, so I can use more of the Ceylon cinnamon without worrying that it's going to make my, like that hot feeling in your mouth that you get from cinnamon. Yeah. There we go. All right. We have everything all mixed up here, and we're just going to toss it all by hand into a nice homogeneous mixture that smells amazing. All right, and I have my little storage jar for it, and this is just a repurposed spice jar from something else because I love upcycling my jars. And I'm going to use a little bit of paper here, just as sort of like a impromptu funnel. And there we go. Get in the jar. Ooh, it's going to be full. Hang on. There we go. A little bit overflowing, but that's okay. I made just enough. There we go. And there's my little spice blend. Make sure you label your jars. You want to know what you just made, because when you come back to this in 6 months to a year, then you'll just be like, what the hell is this? So I'm going to put a label on this as soon as I'm done here. But anyway, that's all she wrote. This little blend, I actually have it already made. This is my last batch that I made. This is a repeat batch that I'm going to keep for later because it turned out so good. When you do drink this, If you like sweetener, I always recommend sweetening it, because this is something, anytime you're doing a love spell, whether you're sharing this with someone else to do like a shared love, or whether you're drinking this for yourself for self-love, you always want to sweeten it just to make that love a little bit sweeter. And that sugar and honey has that magical property, both because they're sweet, of kind of drawing in good things to you. So anyway, that's all I got. I hope you give this a try, because I found that it was really kind of knocked it out of the park on this one. I don't always make good blends. I kind of throw stuff together on the fly a lot of the time, and this was one that I was like, oh, I gotta keep this one and I'm gonna share it because it was really good. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope this video finds you well, and I will see you again soon.